Hey Steelers Nation! Welcome back to the channel, where we keep you updated on all things black and gold. As the season heats up and every game matters more, our Pittsburgh Steelers are laser-focused on improving day by day to bring those big wins home. Today, we've got some exciting updates about this week's game against the Baltimore Ravens, a massive matchup with first place in the AFC North on the line. Before we jump into it, hit that like button to show your Steelers pride, and if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe for all the latest news, updates, and game breakdowns. Let's dive into it. Some great news for the Steelers heading into Week 11. 4 key players are expected to return to action for Sunday's showdown against Baltimore. Running back Najee Harris, cornerback Donte Jackson, outside linebacker Nick Herbig, and wide receiver Van Jefferson have all been cleared to play after dealing with injuries earlier this week. Here's the breakdown. Najee Harris, the Steelers' workhorse back, suffered a right ankle injury during last week's nail-biter against the Washington Commanders. While he missed Wednesday's practice, Harris participated fully on Thursday and Friday, earning the green light to suit up. This is crucial news, especially with backup Jaylen Warren listed as questionable. Donte Jackson, who left the Commanders game with a hamstring injury, has also been cleared after a strong return to practice. His presence in the secondary is vital as the Steelers prepare to face the electric Lamar Jackson and the Ravens' dynamic passing attack. Nick Herbig, after missing 4 games with a hamstring issue, Herbig is back just in time to fill in for Alex Highsmith, who's sidelined with an ankle injury. Look for Herbig and Preston Smith to step up in this critical role. Van Jefferson popped up on the injury report with a quad issue but showed no lingering effects during practices late in the week. With the Steelers aiming to diversify their passing game, Jefferson's availability is a big plus. As exciting as these returns are, the Steelers face a tall task this Sunday, containing Lamar Jackson and a Ravens offense that's firing on all cylinders. Let's take a closer look at why this game is so crucial and what Pittsburgh needs to do to come out on top. Jackson, a 2-time MVP, is having one of the best seasons of his career. Through 10 games, he's completing a career-high 69.1% of his passes with 24 touchdowns against just 2 interceptions. Add in his rushing ability and the Ravens' addition of Derrick Henry, and you've got an offense that's nearly impossible to stop. The numbers don't lie. The Ravens rank first in rushing yards, 1,826, and rushing touchdowns, 39, and second in passing yards, 2,670. They've also spread the wealth, with 10 different players scoring touchdowns this season. Past success against Lamar, while Jackson has dominated the league, he's struggled against the Steelers. In 4 career starts, Jackson is just 1-3, with 7 interceptions to only 4 touchdowns and a completion percentage of 50.1%. That said, Steelers defenders know better than to underestimate him. Sometimes the ball is just falling your way. Lamar's a heck of a talent, and you try to bottle him up, but you never fully can. The Steelers' defensive formula against Lamar Jackson has always been about team effort. Stopping him isn't about one player making a big play, it's about everyone staying disciplined and cohesive. It's hard just putting it on one guy. Playing together and being cohesive is really important. They've done a great job surrounding Lamar with weapons. Derrick Henry adds a home run element to their offense. It's going to be a real test for us. The Steelers' game plan will likely focus on limiting explosive plays, forcing Jackson into tough decisions, and taking advantage of any turnovers. On the other side of the ball, the Steelers will lean heavily on Najee Harris and the run game. Harris has been a steady presence all season, and his ability to grind out tough yards will be critical in controlling the clock and keeping Lamar Jackson off the field. With an improving offensive line and Harris healthy again, the Steelers have a chance to establish the run early. If Harris can dominate on the ground, it opens up play-action opportunities for Kenny Pickett and the passing attack. Van Jefferson's return. Jefferson's presence gives the Steelers another deep threat, something they'll need to keep the Ravens' secondary honest. Look for offensive coordinator Matt Canada to get creative with Jefferson in space. This isn't just another game, it's a battle for first place in the AFC North. The rivalry between the Steelers and Ravens is one of the fiercest in the NFL, and every matchup feels like a playoff game. A win would solidify the Steelers as legitimate contenders and give them a crucial tiebreaker over Baltimore. A loss, however, would put Pittsburgh in a tough spot as they head into the most grueling part of their schedule. Steelers fans, you know this isn't just any other game, it's Ravens week. And while these two teams always go head-to-head like heavyweight champions, the recent history has been heavily in Pittsburgh's favor. Our Steelers have won 7 of the last 8 meetings, with the Ravens struggling to find answers against us. Baltimore offensive coordinator Todd Monken recently stirred the pot with his comments, suggesting that this rivalry might be more meaningful to the Ravens than to the Steelers. Here's what Monken had to say. Sometimes, rivalries are one-sided. It's a rivalry to you, but you've got the hell beat out of you for so long that the other team doesn't see it that way. Monken's comments add fuel to the fire, but are they accurate? Let's take a look at why the Steelers have been so dominant in this series, and why the Ravens still pose a major challenge this Sunday. Since Lamar Jackson took over as Baltimore's quarterback, the Ravens have struggled against Pittsburgh. Jackson hasn't beaten the Steelers since 2019, and that win required overtime and a heroic play by Marlon Humphrey against Devlin Duck Hodges filling in as quarterback. The numbers tell the story. Jackson is 1-3 against the Steelers in his career. He's thrown more interceptions, 7, than touchdowns, 4, against Pittsburgh. The Steelers' defense has sacked Jackson 20 times, making his life miserable every time he steps on the field. But here's the thing, Mike Tomlin doesn't take anything for granted. Despite the Steelers' dominance in recent years, Tomlin's respect for the Ravens remains sky-high. He knows these games are won by inches, and he's laser-focused on preparing the team to handle Jackson and Baltimore's explosive offense. Monken's suggestion that the Steelers don't respect the Ravens couldn't be further from the truth. If anything, Pittsburgh's preparation this week shows the exact opposite. Tomlin and defensive coordinator Terrell Austin have pulled out all the stops, moving backup quarterback Justin Fields to the scout team to mimic Jackson's mobility. The Steelers have spent weeks honing their defense against dynamic quarterbacks like Jackson, even simulating similar play styles in practice. The strategy is clear. Limit Jackson's rushing ability. The Steelers have consistently forced Jackson to beat them with his arm, a strategy that has worked in the past. Disrupt timing. The pass rush has to get home early, rattling Jackson and keeping him uncomfortable in the pocket. As Austin said earlier this week, they've surrounded him with great players, but it always comes back to Lamar. If we make him play our game, we've got a chance. Why Sunday's game is different. Despite past success, the Steelers know this Ravens team is dangerous. Baltimore is entering Sunday's game at 7-3, led by an offense that's clicking under Monken's leadership. Lamar Jackson is playing at an MVP level, combining elite passing with his trademark mobility. The addition of weapons like Zay Flowers and the steady presence of Mark Andrews gives Baltimore an edge in the passing game. Their defense remains stout, capable of shutting down opponents in critical moments. The Steelers, however, have momentum on their side. Coming off gritty performances and buoyed by the return of key players like Najee Harris and Dante Jackson, Pittsburgh is ready to take the fight to Baltimore. If the Steelers are going to walk out of Acrisure Stadium with a victory, here's what they need to do. The battle up front will define this game. On offense, the Steelers' line needs to open holes for Harris and give Kenny Pickett enough time to find his targets. On defense, it's all about collapsing the pocket and forcing Jackson into quick, risky decisions. Control the clock. Establishing the run game will be crucial. With Harris healthy and the line improving, the Steelers need to dominate time of possession, keeping Jackson off the field as much as possible. Steelers-Ravens games often come down to one or two pivotal plays. Whether it's a blocked punt, a forced fumble, or a clutch interception, Pittsburgh has to capitalize on every chance they get. Penalties can kill drives and hand Baltimore free yards. The Steelers need to stay disciplined, especially when defending Jackson's unpredictable style of play. What's at stake? This isn't just about bragging rights, it's about first place in the AFC North. With both teams in the thick of the playoff hunt, Sunday's game could shape the rest of the season for Pittsburgh. A win would give the Steelers a critical tiebreaker and a firm grip on the division lead. Tomlin knows what's at stake, and you can bet he'll have the team ready to battle for 60 minutes, and then some if necessary. This Sunday's game has all the makings of a classic AFC North showdown. The Steelers are getting healthy at the right time, but the Ravens are playing some of their best football. Now, we want to hear from you. How confident are you in the Steelers' ability to stop Lamar Jackson? What are your expectations for Najee Harris in this game? Can the Steelers' defense rise to the occasion once again? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Before you go, make sure to hit that like button if you're pumped for this game, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more exclusive Steelers content. Together, we'll ride this journey all the way to the playoffs. Thanks for watching, Steelers Nation. Let's get this win. Here we go, Steelers.